Today is a WRAL weather alert day. We could end up with some strong to severe thunderstorms late today. I'll walk you through the timeline.
Early morning crash in Zebulon. The WRAL breaking news tracker is at that scene. What they are learning about the investigation. Data center pause. Another county in our area may temporarily ban data centers. The factors county commissioners will be considering tonight. A lot to get into here on this Monday as we begin a new work week. So glad you're up with us here early in the morning. I'm Renee Chu. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with why today is the WRAL Weather Alert Day. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning. Here's our next weather maker, and it has been producing some severe storms across parts of the Midwest. Still pretty far away from us, but it will make headway in our direction and arrive here right about the time of the evening commute. Here's Futurecast. I'm going to kick things off right after lunchtime, and you can see some cloud cover beginning to fill in. There's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's 5 o'clock, and then it doesn't really happen until maybe around dinner time. This version of Futurecast shows a lot of coverage of storms. It may not be quite as intense as this, but I liked the timeline and sort of the placement of where this is. And it looks like it moves on out to right around or just after midnight. So we should get some rain, but it's not going to be that lovely soaking rain like we saw on Friday. We do have a level 1 and 2 risk for severe storms. Level 2 means that we'll have some scattered storms that could produce some wind damage. We're not likely to have any other real threats. It looks like mainly just wind damage. We have clear skies right now. The top of the tower, or the entire tower, I should say, is still lit in red to celebrate the hurricanes. 76 is our temperature, and our dew point is 70. Hour by hour, by lunchtime, our temperature is 90, and we'll climb to 97. And with the dew point at around 70, there will be a heat index. So we're going to talk about how high into the triple digits it will feel coming up. Also, another chance for showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday. We'll take a look at that, too, coming up. Renee?
Elizabeth, thank you. Breaking news. We are working to learn more about a crash on US 264 in Zebulon. Kirsten Clark is live there from the WRAL breaking news tracker. And Kirsten, we understand there's a truck overturned in the woods behind you.
Yes, Renee, just to give you some perspective of where we are right now, we're on 264 on the eastbound side near exit 436. But if you take a look over my shoulder here, we'll give you a closer look at what we're seeing now. That tow truck just arriving on scene about half an hour ago. And that truck is now actually right side up, but there are still fire crews over there working to clear debris. And again, that tow truck working to get that truck out of the wood line. There's also one lane closed. That's the westbound side of 264. But I want you to take a look at this video showing the scene when the WRAL breaking news tracker first arrived. You can see that black pickup truck upside down well into the trees. And we saw multiple ambulances come and go from the scene as firefighters look to be extracting people from the truck. State Highway Patrol also on scene investigating. So at this time, we're still working to learn what led up to this crash, as well as any injuries, how many people were inside that truck, and any extent of any injuries. So we, of course, will bring you those details as soon as we learn more information. Live in Zebulon, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Kirsten, thank you. Part of West Gannon Avenue in Zebulon is closed this morning because of a water main break. That break happened Saturday night between San Patty Street and Pineview Drive. With the help of the city of Raleigh, water services have been restored to all affected areas. The NCDOT hopes to get the road back open by Wednesday. A detour is in place, so if you are driving that way, you'll need to take Worth Hinton Road, Green Pace Road, and Water Plant Road to get around this road closure. A Fayetteville mother is facing involuntary manslaughter charges after a high-speed crash that killed 3 children earlier this month. Investigators say 31-year-old Megan Scott was driving recklessly, reaching speeds of more than 110 miles per hour before crashing into a tree on Cedar Creek Road in Fayetteville on June 3rd. Court affidavits reveal Scott fled a traffic stop and struck 2 officers before running her car off the road and into the tree. According to Highway Patrol, the 3 children did not have seatbelts on. 2 died at the scene, and the 3rd later died at the hospital. A family GoFundMe and court documents identified the boys as 3-year-old Jay Cota Thomas, 6-year-old Jamari Thomas, and 8-year-old Jack Thomas. Scott is in jail without bond. She's scheduled to appear in court again on July 7th. A person is recovering after a stabbing at a hotel in Raleigh. Officers respond to the Comfort Inn off Waketown Drive just before noon yesterday. Police say the victim was stabbed in the arms and legs. That person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests have been made. Today, Zebulon Town Commissioners could make a final decision about proposed pay raises for elected officials. This comes as the town faces a $2.4 million budget gap. The town is holding a public hearing tonight that could include a possible vote. Now, if the budget is approved, Mayor Jessica Harrison would receive a $5,000 pay raise. Commissioners could also see their current pay double. Zebulon's town manager says the pay raises are needed in part to account for the time spent in office and changes in cost of living. To close the budget gap, officials are returning millions of dollars tied to inactive or delayed capital projects to the town's savings fund.
We should have been doing those things. If we're not doing them this year, when are we going to do them, and where would that money ever come from? It's progress, but it's not enough.
Town commissioners are also discussing cuts to parades, retreat and travel expenses, and other programming. Tonight's meeting starts at 6. Today, another county in our area is considering pressing pause on any data center development. WRAL's Monica Casey joins us live from Durham right now. Monica, county commissioners are meeting today to consider a moratorium on data center development.
That's right, and the city of Durham already has a moratorium of their own. Theirs was initially for 60 days and has now been extended to 12 months. Tonight, Durham County Commissioners will also consider a 12-month moratorium. The agenda item says the goal of this would be to give the local government time to develop appropriate regulations for certain land uses. One main concern with data centers is their use of water. This issue goes far beyond Durham. Most recently, the town of Holly Springs also approved a 1-year pause. Wake, Chatham, and Orange counties, along with Fayetteville, all have moratoriums on data center development as well. Tonight's meeting starts here at 7. Live in Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
At least 2 people are dead after the U.S. military struck an alleged drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean. Officials say the boat was operated by a known drug trafficking organization and was traveling on a known trafficking route. 6 people survived the strike. More than 200 people have been killed in boat strikes since the Trump administration launched its operation in September. It is winner take all in Omaha today. The UNC Tar Heels are facing Oklahoma in the third and deciding game of the College World Series Championship. UNC faced elimination yesterday after losing Game 1. However, the Diamond Heels pulled off the 6-2 win in Game 2 to stay alive. This is the team's third appearance in the championship in school history and first since 2007. First pitch for the deciding Game 3 is at 7 p.m. Now, because of the summer break, most UNC students are not in class during the College World Series. And when we sent our news crew to Chapel Hill yesterday, they didn't really find any big baseball watch parties. But we did catch up with some fans at Four Corners watching the game.
I'm not normally a baseball fan, but I'm a big UNC fan, so I'm always rooting for us.
If the Tar Heels win tonight, it will be their first baseball national championship ever. The 2026 class of the Hockey Hall of Fame will be announced today, and we will be listening for Rod Brendamore's name to be called. He's been eligible since 2013. Now he's just the 7th person to win a Stanley Cup as a player and head coach for the same team. The other 6, by the way, are already in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Former Canes captain Eric Stahl is eligible for the first time this year. He was part of the team's 2006 Stanley Cup win. Today's announcement is set for 3 p.m. 4:39 now, solidifying the deal. The U.S. could resume attacks if they cannot reach an agreement with Iran over the Strait of Hormuz. What Vice President Vance had to say about peace in the region.
And today's a WRAL weather alert day. We have the chance for some evening thunderstorms, but it's also going to be really hot. Highs in the upper 90s. I'll show you what it will feel like with the heat index coming up. It is 4:43, and our next weather maker makes today a WRAL weather alert day. We definitely had some severe, at least thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings just along and east of this front as it's getting closer to us. This is not likely to be a big tornado threat for us, but certainly we have the potential for damaging wind. It's not likely to happen until after the evening commute. Best chance for rain will start maybe around 7 or 8 o'clock and last until the early morning hours tomorrow. Right now, though, skies are clear, so we have the top of the tower lit in blue this morning. Town by town, it's warm and muggy. 74 in Southern Pines, 71 in Irwin, 71 in South Hill, 74 degrees in Goldsboro. Dog walking this morning. Temperatures, of course, they're going to feel as good as they're going to feel all day long. By lunchtime, 90, and this afternoon will likely top out at 97 around 4 o'clock. I'll show you what it will feel like with the heat index coming up in just a little bit. Renee?
Elizabeth, thank you. President Donald Trump says the U.S. may resume bombing in Iran and take over the Strait of Hormuz if the fragile peace deal between the nations cannot be solidified. The deal already appears to be in jeopardy after Israeli strikes on Lebanon and Iran's threats to ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Vice President J.D. Vance says great progress is being made, and negotiators have agreed on a roadmap to a final deal within the next 60 days. Vance says President Trump is committed to peace.
Peace is never easy. Peace always requires a little bit of work. It always requires a little bit of give and take. But the President of the United States is committed not just to peace between the United States and Iran. The President is committed to a regional peace, which is why we're here working so hard to settle our issues.
Oil prices went up Sunday after President Trump's threat to attack Iran again. Local gas prices are still trending downward as we begin the new week. According to AAA, the average for a gallon of gas in Raleigh, $3.55. In the Durham and Chapel Hill area, it's $3.74. In Fayetteville, it's even lower at $3.40 a gallon. This just in, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is stepping down. Minutes ago, he announced he will no longer lead the Labour Party, and he will leave the Prime Minister's office as soon as a replacement is chosen. We will have more on this big story from the WRAL Live Center starting at 5 a.m. President Trump says workers will likely have to drain the reflecting pool near the Lincoln Memorial for repairs. Over the weekend, the president says vandals damaged the pool. He did not provide any evidence for that claim. Trump administration officials say multiple arrests have been made. President Trump ordered the pool to be cleaned and the bottom painted blue to help mark America's 250th birthday. Since then, crews have been trying to remove algae from the pool, and some of the blue paint has peeled off the bottom. It was a Stanley Cup party over the weekend, and it didn't stop after the big championship parade on Saturday. Seth Jarvis spent part of his Sunday connecting with fans in Cary. Jarvis signed autographs over at Dick's Sporting Goods as Caniacs lined up to meet him. For fans, this was another chance to celebrate the Canes Stanley Cup championship with one of the team's stars.
It was really cool being able to come in here and still see him and stuff and be able to take pictures. So that was super fun. And I just think being around people and seeing we all have this shared interest was still really fun.
I heard people drove 6-9 hours down here just to see him. So they were camping out early.
The appearance was just one of several celebrations around the Triangle over the weekend. You can relive every minute of our celebration coverage at WRAL.com. Well, now that the confetti has fallen, the Canes are looking to defend their Stanley Cup championship next year and avoid what happened right after they won it in 2006. So you may remember they failed to make the playoffs the next year after that winning season in 2006, and then 11 of the next 12 seasons. This year's Canes don't expect that to happen. These Hurricanes are far better positioned to lift the cup again. Find out what changes could be on the horizon in our in-depth story at WRAL.com. And I saw that the Vegas odd makers have Carolina Hurricanes and Colorado Avalanches the contenders for winning the Stanley Cup next year. Oh, if we could do it all again. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. A wild ride for them, and could be a wild ride later today, weather-wise.
Yes. Hey, we've practiced now. We know how to do this, and I think it would be awesome to do it again, right? Today's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. It's something that we do fairly often here as well, especially this time of year. This afternoon and evening thunderstorms that have the potential to produce some wind damage. So here we are again. This time, it's mainly after 6 o'clock, so it may not affect the evening commute, but it will be more like around dinner time. Level 1 and 2, and we'll talk about what those two levels mean coming up. Damaging wind gusts are our biggest threat. This doesn't look like a big tornado issue for us. However, there were some tornado warnings across parts of the Midwest overnight, and so we'll certainly have our eye on it. Let's talk about the timeline. This is lunchtime. There's 3 p.m. We'll pause it there at 5, and we're pretty dry for the evening commute. But by the time we get to 7 or 8, so if you're going to be out around dinner time or so, Austin will likely have that wave of rain coming through along with the front, and it may last until the very early morning hours, at least in our eastern counties. From, say, I-95 west, we have a level 2 risk for severe storms. It's a level 1 risk in some of our far eastern counties. Level 1 means that there may be 2 or 3, maybe a handful of storms that could produce some wind damage. The level 2 risk doesn't mean that it's going to be more intense. It mainly means that we may have more of them. So there could be better chances for wind damage from the Triangle area westward. So we'll be on the lookout for that. It's a quiet start this morning. It is warm and sticky, though. We have the tower lit in blue for clear skies, but it's 76 with a dew point of 70. So it definitely feels like summer. The first day of summer was yesterday, of course. We have a heat risk, major heat risk across most of the viewing area until around 8 p.m. and then that severe level 1 and 2 risk after 6 o'clock. 97, Raleigh, Durham, and Fayetteville. So it's definitely going to be a very hot day for us. Take a look at the heat index. As we get into the middle of the afternoon, it's likely between 100 and 104. So keep that in mind. That doesn't quite put us up into a heat advisory, but it's very close. 89 is our normal high, and we have 90s across the board during the work week. So far through today, we've had 23 days with highs at 90 or higher. That's the second most on record through this date. So that's a lot of 90-degree days, but there they are. It looks like it's going to be a hot weekend with chances for showers and storms at a number of days. It looks like we have 5 days in the 7-day forecast with a chance for rain. I'll show you how much we could see coming up. Renee?
Looks like summer to me. Elizabeth, thank you. Entertainment news coming up. A new Star Fox game plus a classic comedy makes its return. We'll show you what's happening in Hollywood just ahead. Plus, out and proud. Capitol Pride wrapped up yesterday, and Raleigh will celebrate the LGBTQ community. What's in store for this year's festival and the things that will be different. A new Star Fox game, plus a comedy classic with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore in 4K. Rick Damigella has those stories and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Atmospheric entry complete. Extend the wings.
Slippy here. So far, so good.
This is Peppy. All systems go.
Falco here. G-diffuser seems fine.
Fox McCloud and his team are back this week in a brand new video game. Nintendo is releasing Star Fox exclusively for its Switch 2 game console. The adventure launches Thursday, June 25th.
About a year ago, Lucy was in a terrible car accident. She lost her short-term memory.
50 First Dates is releasing in 4K this week. The Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler comedy classic arrives on the high-def format Tuesday, June 23rd. And anime fans can look forward to Bleach 1000-Year Blood War: The Calamity arriving in theaters this week. Fathom Entertainment is screening the first 3 episodes of the series from June 25th through the 29th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Yeah. A weekend of Pride wrapped up in the National's capital yesterday. The Capitol Pride Festival brought thousands to downtown Washington, D.C. There were hundreds of exhibitors, local artisans, food vendors, and beverage gardens. The weekend also featured a parade celebrating culture, visibility, and the contributions of the LGBTQ+ community. Looking ahead, this weekend, Raleigh will celebrate Out Raleigh Pride. There will be 3 days of fun and celebration for the LGBTQ community. This year's theme is #RallyRaleigh. Organizers are doing something a little different. On Friday, they will host an 18-plus adult-only festival. On Saturday, they will host a more traditional parade for the whole family. In Orange County, El Centro Hispano is teaming up with the town of Carborough to celebrate the local Latinx LGBTQ community. The town's Orgullo Pride celebration is Friday. There will be a walk, dance party, resources, and other fun to celebrate Pride. It will be Friday from 5 until 9 p.m. Serena Williams is adding singles play to her Wimbledon comeback. Williams accepted a wild card invitation into the singles draw. The 23-time Grand Slam champion had already planned to compete in doubles alongside her sister Venus. Williams has not played a singles match since the 2022 U.S. Open. Wimbledon begins June 29. A busy day of FIFA World Cup soccer today on Fox 50. Argentina plays Austria at 1 p.m. Then at 5, it is France against Iraq. At 8 tonight, it will be Norway versus Senegal. The tournament will run through July 19th. Now ahead at 5, Zebulon water main break. Part of West Gannon Avenue has been closed since Saturday as crews work on repairs. We will share the timeline to get the road back open. Data center talks. A new moratorium is being considered in Durham County. What leaders there plan to discuss today after hearing from residents. And avoiding scams. It is Prime Day week. 5 on Your Side breaks down what you should look for when shopping online.